What is going on, everybody? It is Tuesday night. Time to talk some football. You guys know me, SAJ, Loudmouth of the South. I'm actually going to be coming to you from, and I don't know if I've used this studio or not yet, but if I have, I'm going to do it anyways, just for old time's sake, right? I'm coming to you from the Quick Walk Studios on Walsham Road. Used to be a fast food restaurant. My brother worked there. Used to go there all the time. It's right next to my dad's chiropractor. Right, we just lived there on Walsham, and looking back, probably not the best food choice, but I mean, it was what we had. And so, we enjoyed it for what it was and maybe even enjoyed the heartburn a little bit afterwards. But we're coming to you live tonight. We've got a lot to talk about. Specifically, though, we've got a guest tonight that we really wanted to bring on and make sure that we kind of put him at the front and center because he happens to be somebody who could potentially be one of our strongest frenemies, if you will. This gentleman is the quarterback of the Texas Syndicate, and he's got a lot of experience and a lot of good things that he's going to be bringing to the Texas Syndicate. Probably not a championship, though, because he's going to have to face us for that championship. And he's never going to beat the San Antonio Toros. But without further ado, let me go ahead and bring him in. This is Mr. Jeremy Hunt. Welcome to the show, Jeremy.
How you doing? Thank you for having me.
Definitely, definitely. So, obviously, as I said before, we're hometown homers. We're going to defend our home team. We're going to talk a little bit of trash. We're going to take a couple of pokes and everything.
Yes, sir.
Um, but kind of just about having that good time and having those connections. We were connected in a different league, and we've got friends all around the United States, right? Michigan,
hmm
DC, Houston, Arlington, Dallas, Frisco, wherever they decide to put that team. Even some folks we know in Birmingham. Uh,
hmm
I don't know that we would have friends in St. Louis, but that's because we absolutely hate St. Louis, or more specifically, I do, right? And so,
I can agree.
God forbid, God forbid this league ever get a team in St. Louis, but if they do, they're going to the front of my list of the worst, most hated enemies of the state, right? And it's always going to be us against the rest of the world. But that's for a different show. Whenever things, maybe develop, we'll talk about that in a little bit. However, let's talk about you because the show's about you tonight, right? So, you're obviously a football player. You've been playing for a while. Why don't we start? Where'd you play ball in high school, college, and then maybe, start going into your professional career after that?
Okay, in high school, I'm originally from Oak Park, Illinois, so I'm actually a long ways away from home as well. I went to Oak Park River Forest High School, grew up there my whole life, and then graduated and went to my first school, which was Central Missouri, which is in Warrensburg, Missouri, the D2 and the MIAA. Great conference, by the way. Um, and then I was there for a year and a half, had the opportunity to play my redshirt freshman year because he had a injury, and then I ended up winning out the job, and got to play out my freshman year. And then the starter was coming back the next year, so I was like, well, I have this whole season of film. Let's see if we can get our name back out there a little bit. So from there, I actually hopped into the portal for the first of three times, I think. Um, and then
Nice.
from there, I ended up out in Texas for my first time at Trinity Valley Community College in Athens, Texas. So I was out there
Okay.
in that's the Southwest JUCO Conference. Yeah.
Hmm.
With TVCC, I was there for a year. Had a really good season. I actually had a really great time. Met some great friends there. And then from there, ended up graduating in cat. Ended up
Oh,
graduating. Ended
this
up
guy, we've
graduating.
got
Yeah,
stories with him. We'll talk about him
yeah. I was
later.
about to say you didn't tell me you had a cat. I know I was gonna have to work with a cat popping up in the camera too. Like,
Oh, no, he's
um,
handling the backstage feed. It'll be fine.
okay, cool, cool. But to get back on track, from Trinity Valley, ended up going to Louisiana Monroe, and which that was a very interesting time because I got there during COVID, and we actually played during that COVID season in 2020 because we were in the South. So I had the lovely time of getting all those lovely nose tests done because I never got COVID. So I had to get it the whole season, which was a very
Okay.
crazy experience. And I was there for a couple of years, ended up graduating, and I was like, I kind of want to move back closer to home. Things didn't work out here as I thought that they would. And then that is when I ended up transferring for my last and final time to my last school, the University of Findlay, which is a D2 out in Ohio, in which they actually just won conference champs this year. So go them, go Oilers. Um, and
Okay.
then I had the really cool opportunity of playing with my younger brother there, who played wide receiver. So that was really fun because he was a starter his true freshman year. So I got to throw him 6 touchdowns that first year, and mom and dad were super proud about that and super happy. Um, so
Nice.
yeah, and then finished up my college career there. Had a little compliance issue. Thought I was going to get another year. Ended up not getting it. And so in 2023, I stayed at Findlay and coached for that year and continued to work on my master's because working, getting my master's in communications, and I should actually be finishing that in May. So very excited about that. Finish it
Nice.
right before the season starts. So that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
um,
definitely.
yeah, and then from there, that was actually when I was just on Twitter looking for opportunities, trying to get my name back out there. I'd been working out that whole year, kind of been something set with my coaches, like, hey, yeah, like I'm gonna, work out every day, and then even in the QB drills, like I'm throwing every day too. So just to stay in shape, because I was like, I definitely want to play again, especially after losing a year, all those lovely things. And then that was when um, I had found this arena team looking for players down in Corpus Christi, and sent a DM over Twitter and sent some film, and we're talking with the head coach, and then I was like, yeah, this is definitely going to be something different, but I was like, I want to get back to playing, and this is the way to. So that is what took me down, actually back to Texas. At the beginning of 2024, went down to play arena ball in Corpus Christi, which that was an experience within itself. Arena ball is cool, but it's so different from football.
Hmm.
So different. But I really did enjoy it because there's some things about it that actually I think translate well to the game of once you go back outdoors. So I was
Hmm.
very thankful for that experience, and then the guys I met, and even the team that we had was really good for a bunch of, first time arena guys. Um,
You guys, not to cut you off, but I definitely want to
mhm.
jump in because I've got questions about that I'm going to ask later. But I will say the
Okay.
the Corpus Christi Tritons team, because again, we're Texans talking football, so we talk about everything football, well, as much as we can,
Yeah.
from a Texas perspective, including all the Texas teams, such as Corpus Christi Tritons. You
Mhm.
guys caught our attention immediately and was just blown away with how good you guys were, especially considering the other teams that were in there. Now, some of them maybe not the greatest or whatever, but there was one other team that you guys battled with, and it was phenomenal, phenomenal games, and we loved watching that, watching the highlights and the updates and some of the reels and stuff because we're not going to pay $18 million for all these different subscriptions to the 500 million leagues that are around. But we
Exactly.
did catch some of your stuff, and it was phenomenal stuff. But okay, you're back on.
Well, that's great to hear then. That was a great interjection. Thank you. Thank
Hmm.
you. Glad to see that people were watching us because yeah, that year was
Oh yeah.
definitely something that was special, especially when we were projected to finish fourth that year, and then to go all the way to the championship was awesome. But
Hmm.
so yeah, from there had that season, and then came to what was that 2025, and I was signed with the San Antonio Caballeros, and for the
Oh.
IFA, in
Hmm.
which that was what it was, and then it wasn't, and so it was actually kind of interesting because Quincy, our owner, he and I, well, first off, he and his son and I played together and in Corpus together. So I known him for a
Okay.
while, and then when I was with the Caballeros, he was our marketing manager. And so every kind of event that we did, like I live in San Antonio, so it was kind of a, like, yeah, of course I'll go. Like I'm here. I'm one of the only
Mhm.
people here. I'm not doing anything. Like, yeah, let's get out into the community, try to see if we can make this work. And when it didn't, he had talked about wanting to start up a team, but I was just like, oh, okay, like, sure.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Almost like, yeah, like, okay. Like I've
mhm.
seen the struggles 2 years in a row of what it is to have a team, and it's like there's a lot that goes into it. And you did do a lot for that San Antonio team, in which I was like, you could be the person to do it. I was like, but it is still a lot. And then he called me one day, and he was like, yeah, like I'm actually going to do it and have a team. I'm going to be in Austin, and I want you to be my quarterback. And at first, it kind of threw me off a little bit because to kind of dive more into my life, I work at Boeing as a contractor in the supply chain as an analyst. So
Okay.
that job had started up once the football stuff ended. So it was almost like maybe it was a sign that, hey, you did your best. Like it just didn't work, which I was okay with that. Like I'm very realistic too and understand the numbers and percentages of this game. And, I did everything that I could, and I had no regrets about my journey. So I was like, hey, if this is it, then at least I had my great year in Corpus and I still got my
Yeah.
jersey that's up on the wall. So
Mm.
I'll just live off that.
Hmm.
And and yeah, and then when Quincy called, I was like, like I basically was prepared to play like yesterday. So what's another
Hmm.
year of working out, I think that he has the ability and the pieces to, you know, fund and get the team the things that it needs. And he also has a mindset about understanding just the process of it all. And, sometimes it's not about him profiting at first. And, it's about building a team like in the community. And he truthfully understands that. And so that was what made me, say yes. And that's kind of what brought me to the Texas Syndicate.
Okay. Okay. So I'm sorry, I'm giving myself a little bit of an echo here because I've got to try and copy a link and forgive me, I'm definitely trying to pay attention. But
You're
without
all
BB
good.
here, I have to do kind of everything. Normally he would do the talking and I would do the background work. And
Hmm.
because this guy right here isn't helping. So um you said you played for the Tritons. And
Hmm.
again, we're not necessarily the the biggest arena football fans. It has its place, but the problem is, and I try and tell everybody that it's fun, but it's not the same as regular football. It's a different breed, and there's a reason why.
Hmm.
If you go back and you look at the history of what arena football is, it it's not going to be the same as what football is, and it's not designed to be the same. But that again, that being the case, um, I'm sorry, my computer's acting a little weird here. Um, we definitely try and follow it, right? There's been movement out in West Texas, Amarillo with the Warbirds and coming and going, and then you had the Beaumont Renegades come in, and then they kind of change leagues and blah blah blah, and the San Antonio Gunslingers who arguably revived a name from the old World Football League,
Hmm.
right? And if you know anything about Texas history or alternative football here in San Antonio, they have some of the wildest stories when it comes to the gunslingers, right? So, and you'll have to look it up. I don't want to ruin the story for you, but seriously, check it out. They're
Okay.
literally, because finances were so difficult back then,
Hmm.
they literally would have like a cannonball run type race. Once they gave out the paychecks to whoever could get to the bank. The bank was over in Lavernia, and it was like the first 10 people that could get to the bank could cash their check. After that, you're not getting paid this week. And that's just the way it was. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
There's
that's
a ton
arena
more
ball.
stories.
Hey, yeah,
Yeah,
that's arena ball.
I don't want to ruin it. But okay. So and you'll notice, right? I'm wearing my AAF San Antonio Commanders hat, right?
Hmm.
A nod to all
Oh.
the see that logo right there, man. That was when it was on, right? And that is my nod to the things that have come and gone such as Corpus Christi Tritons. We know they're kind of in limbo right now. I know they're selling the field. We don't know if the team is coming back or not. The next question I'm going to ask, if you can't talk about it, feel free to say, can't talk about it, we'll move on. But what happened there? What was the downfall? Because it sounds like, from what I can tell, maybe there's a little bit of mismanagement of the team, maybe mismanagement of the funds. And when people stopped getting paid, all the good talent took off. And then they found like guys at Home Depot who wanted to play just to finish out the season. So talk to me about that.
Mhm. Well, I can really only speak on the first year because year two, I was not there for that. But even in the first year, what I can say is definitely mismanagement just in upper management in general. And then I think to kind of round it off is just the difficulties of starting up a team, regardless of what level. Like, there's a lot that goes into it, a lot of pieces. There's a lot of sponsorships. There's things with the community that you have to do. And I think it's just there was a thought that there was going to be more funds coming in. And I think from an owner's perspective, you almost can't even think about funds until year three just because for yourself, just because to pay for everything else to get solidified to then where the funds start excessively rolling in. And so I definitely do think that it was just those factors that kind of ruined it. Then they kind of got it back, and it seems like the same factors played a role in this one too. Because even for us, there were things on. It's a business. Like, you expect me to
Mhm.
go out there and win games because that's what you brought me here to do. And then once I
Right.
do that, I expect you to pay me for going out there to win you games. And it's kind of like our whole model was, and kind of one of the things that I feel like, pushed us and made us really good in a almost sick way was just the fact that anyone could get replaced. And so each week, like, you're fighting for your position. It doesn't matter what you did last week because they'll bring someone in to help see if, like, is this person better, or are you going to step up and make your mistakes and then get better. So when it's that mentality of, if we're not doing our job, you're getting rid of us. Why am I now going to go out there and do my job and you can't even do yours? And so,
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely think it was all of that that played a role into it. But as we're kind of seeing a trend over these last couple of years, like, it's tough wherever you're at to get a program started, get a program started, and not a program, a team, and then for it to hold, and not even just the team, it's more of the league and every team in the league, because that's really the big thing. Like, teams, like, I can understand teams falling off and coming and going, but like, leagues falling off is kind of like, yikes. Like, so it's a much bigger problem than just this team. you know
Oh yeah.
yeah, so
Well, and we can definitely even, talk to that. Um, Leagues falling off, right? We saw what happened with the AAF.
mhm,
Incredible, marketing, team placement, stuff like that. Charlie Ebersol was great about being a force for promoting this league, and everything was great until it wasn't, because what we found out was that Ebersol tried to beat the XFL to market so he could put a project or a product out there and make it better than what the XFL was, so there wasn't going to be competition. He jumped the gun without the money, brought in Tom Dundon, things went south. Here we are, broken team, 7 games into the season, and with San Antonio leading the charge, right? That was a
mhm.
real stinger. Um, there's another league that comes along, and I promised people that I wasn't going to badmouth it, and I'm not going to. But there was another league that comes along, and the history of San Antonio sports. We're always gun shy because we seem to keep getting burnt. There's been at least 12 different opportunities for professional football here in some capacity, and nothing has stuck around, right?
Mm.
So this new league comes along. We're not 100% sure. Of course, I'm a football addict, so I jump in head first. I don't even think about it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm branded for life, right? So that, with the mergers and some things that we maybe didn't necessarily agree with. Here we are 3 years later, and our team is gone, which, okay, I get it, right? Rent was too high, income was too low. It just didn't make sense. Even if we were still in a positive, it didn't
Hmm.
make sense, right? So they pull the team, okay, fine. Now along comes the COFL and the San Antonio Toros, the Texas Syndicate. We have the Ohio Valley Ironmen, and now we have the Cincinnati Dukes, right? Just got announced today. Uh,
Oh,
yeah, so you're starting to see some of your competition actually pop up where you're going to be. What about and I know what drew me to this league, but what about this league drew you to this league?
it was, it kind of took me a little second because I was very, very early into the process. Like me
Mhm.
and Mr. Workman have been talking about this for since like July. So like
Okay.
like before we were even like for sure that like yeah, this is something that's gonna be like we weren't even in a league yet. Um
Mhm.
and so what kind of really drove like just kind of piqued my interest more and more um, was just kind of their setup and their thoughts about the league. I think it being fan driven is one of the smartest things, and I'm shocked that more people haven't done that. Like, make it more about the people that we need to keep the league alive, and then make it about them, and then make it about the people that will bring the people back to keep the league alive. Like, and I feel like just having that mindset from the jump of it's about the fans, and then for Mr. Workman, and I'm sure the other teams are the same way. It's about the players and like just getting us more film, just having giving us this opportunity to get back on the field. Like, I've been itching to get back outside to playing ball. Like that's why I never went back to
Mhm.
arena because I was like, it was great, but it's not football. Like it's not the things that I love. Like even as a quarterback, I love a good GT power game. Like what? Like, come on, like,
Mhm.
yeah, let's just run it down their throats. Like, that's easy. Hand the ball off. Like, like
Yeah.
I like the things about football that arena ball doesn't bring. So, it was just hearing just hearing the league talk about what their goal and mission was, and then just kind of seeing it really play out. It's like, this is something that I really think once the fans get involved and more people get involved will be something that everyone will like and everyone can benefit from. And then just changing the fourth quarter to CFL rules is awesome because I like the moment I played arena, I was like, if we could put this outside, I mean, I don't know how defenses can stop this a lot of times. Like just the different variations you can do with motions, the D line's a yard off, like that's something too within it. So like it's the three downs is weird. I don't know how much I like that, but
Mhm.
just I think giving players the opportunity to have now 11 on 11 film with also some Canadian football film. You're giving them both types of film for them to move up and continue on in the game. And it's just like, I just feel like they're covering the bases of what a builder league and a league to, funnel players through should be. Like, it should be something for the players to show what they can do in all aspects so that it can, widen their range of where they can go. So, yeah, so those things.
Yes. I absolutely love and I know not a whole bunch of people that are coming in from outside of Texas, specifically the kind of South and Central Texas area, know very much about BD and myself, but we talk about it all the time. I love revolutionizing the game.
Mhm.
I love doing things to mix things up because if you look at the NFL has changed so much in the last 20 years.
Mhm.
The running back position has changed, the tight end position has changed, the quarterback position has
Yeah.
changed even, right? And so now you're having to respond with different looks on defense. And you've got people like what's his name from the Cowboys, and I can never seem to remember his name.
Mhm.
Parsons,
Oh.
right?
Mhm.
You've got a guy like Parsons who arguably could be revolutionizing the game. All fairness, I'm not a big Parsons fan just because I think we paid entirely way too much for him. But he's making a difference on the defense, and I can't lie about that. He made a big difference last night,
Mhm.
and so I got to give the man his flowers. Um, but the game is changing across the board. And so it's nice to see that there is, and I don't, I say this with all respect to the league, but almost having a development league for young men like yourselves to get accustomed to the game, because this is different than college ball.
Hmm.
And everybody talks about how hard the transition is from college to NFL, right? You saw guys like, Johnny Football, Johnny Manziel,
Yeah.
who was a great talent, couldn't make it,
Hmm.
right? You've seen guys like Kellen Mond over at A&M, who arguably statistically was an incredible quarterback, should have blown up in the NFL.
Yeah.
Didn't really do well once he got there because again, it's such a massive shift. And those guys didn't really have the opportunity to have things like the COFL or the UFL or XFL or anything like that to be able to be mentored by people such as like Wade Phillips or Spurrier, guys like that,
Hmm.
that can get them into that NFL mindset to then be ready for that professional jump, right? Um, with that being the case, I want to ask you, obviously, you talked about the culture of the COFL being kind of a big draw for you.
Hmm.
What do you want to see for the culture of your team, your locker room, and not just inside the game, but outside the game also? What are you looking for, or what are you looking to get out of it? What are you looking to put into it to make that culture what it's going to be?
Really for a culture in the locker room, I kind of stick to one word, and that's just passion. Like passion for the game, passion for kind of each other in a sense, like understanding that you're playing
Nice.
for yourself, but also the guy next to you. Because if you can't do your part, then he can't do his part, and the whole thing breaks down unless someone does way more than what they're supposed to. But you can't always count on that. So, I just think, just passion about it, like caring, like caring to, are we taking care of our things? Are we taking care of the small things? Are we cleaning up after ourselves? Like, is your locker neat? Like small things like that, like, it's so funny that I'm saying it now because I used to hate all the time when I would just say it. Like, but then it's like
Yeah.
you really think about it, and it's like, yeah, those are the small details. Like, I know that without thinking that you're going to pick up the tape that you cut off your ankle every single day, then I know that whenever that backer starts creeping and I say, hey, he might be coming, that you're going to pick up this blitz. And it's like it's those
Mhm.
things. And so I really just want to bring that passion just to the locker room, to the field, and to the game, like the love for the game. Like, we're in a position to where we're chasing our dreams, we're trying to grow. Like, it's not college. Like, there is no college you can be half in, half out. You're still trying to figure it out. Yeah, like there's room to grow. Like, there is none of that. Like, I want everyone to be 110% in, 110% passionate about what they're doing and caring about what they're doing, because that's how I am. And I hate to see when people aren't, because that's when the switch kind of flips for me. And then, it's the hairs get all raised, and like, that's when the other side of my passion starts to show. Just because this really matters to
Nice.
me, like I said, like I've
Mhm.
been wanting to get back outdoors, and just to have an opportunity like this, I mean, there's so many guys that I know that, like, man, if you just were younger and were in this time period where this was starting up, like, you would be the person that's in line for this and doing it. And like, because they're not, and because it's happening, I think we should, care for it a little bit more than normal, because it could really be the start of something, and that comes with caring and having that passion. And just off the field, caring about the community. I think that's kind of my one takeaway from the UFL, where I think they failed by not putting the teams in their actual towns in which they're at, because now you can't be in the community. I mean, you want to get people to come to the game, just bring little kids to come see us practice. Like, they will be at the game, I promise you. And it's just taking that time to then talk to them, because there's so many kids that, like, this is what they want, and they've never seen that this is possible. Like I said, I've been to 4 different colleges. Like, not many people who do that and then still have a chance to have some sort of professional career and a very groundbreaking new thing. And I want to be able to show kids and be like, hey, like you can do it. And it's like it is possible, and kind of be that pillar and to show them that. And I think that's just caring about more than just yourself. Like it really is bigger than the game itself. Like yeah, we're trying to chase our dreams and grow, but like people see us and like that keeps them going in life. And that's a much bigger thing than, how many touchdowns can we score? Like, oh wait, we only got 3 downs this quarter instead of four. Like, like that's a much bigger thing. And so I would definitely just say passion is just what I want, what I'm gonna bring and what I want this team to bring on the field and off the field, and just even like around ourselves. So this is such a rare moment to be in, to be able to play this sport, and then just with the people that you do, because so few people get to do it. And so it's just, just caring about it.
100% loved everything you said. There are a couple of things that you said that I definitely want to highlight. And I want to make sure that our fans hear again what you said. First and foremost, having passion, not just for the game, but for the community also,
Hmm.
right? Having that commitment to your task, to your craft, if you will, right? Don't go out there and just give half effort, or you know go out and meet the fans and just be like, oh, hey, hi, whatever,
Yeah.
right? Be in the moment, be connected.
Hmm.
And most importantly, being there as a community for growth, right? Showing that you're taking this seriously, that you care about what's going on, that you're involved in everything, not just, there for the glory or there for the opportunity to move on, but you're there to help the guy next to you.
Hmm.
You're there to help the fan who you can see there's a lot of fans that in the UFL that were super connected because this was almost therapeutic to them,
Hmm.
giving those fans that opportunity to put on a mask, put on some body paint. Not me, I'm too fat and old to be putting on body paint. All right. I'm just going to wear a backwards hat and yell at people. But giving people that opportunity to connect on that deeper level with you guys and be that home field advantage, be the blood, sweat, and tears with you guys,
Hmm.
and raising you up in victory and picking you up in defeat, and that just connectedness, right? Having coaches that actually care about you.
Hmm.
Now, again, not a shot at any of the other leagues or anything like that, because very specifically, and I can't praise this man enough. And again, I'm not a Cowboys fan, right? I'm not a Denver Broncos fan, but Wade Phillips actually cares. He's one of the only coaches that I've met that has cared that deeply. You saw in it, if you watch anything about the UFL
Hmm.
or XFL, you specifically saw Wade Phillips talking to Hakeem Butler, who arguably should be in the NFL because he's a pretty dang good receiver. Let's be
Yes.
honest.
Yes.
Okay. Wade Phillips, when St. Louis beat San Antonio that one game, Wade Phillips went across the field and was talking to Hakeem and said, "You're a damn good receiver, kid. Let me make some calls for you." Wasn't even his player.
Yeah.
And but that's the kind of level of commitment that I would expect to see from coaches at this level. And so far, from what I've seen from the ownership group and the coaches and the few people that I've talked to so far, that's what we're getting. Mike Kelly actually cares about what's going to happen to your career. Quincy Workman actually cares about what's going to happen to you both on and off the field. And all of these guys, Josh down here in San Antonio, cares what happens to all of you guys, not just his guys, but all of you guys. And that's why everybody is picking the people that they're picking and making sure that that support network is there, right? Because there's a lot of connections to a lot of different leagues, NFL, CFL, even some connections,
Hmm.
right? Uh, but they're there to help cultivate your craft, to grow you from the young man that you are into the young man that you're supposed to be so that you can move on to the next step, whatever that may be, whether it be a football career or a professional career in the degree area that you have, whatever it is. And that's the thing that I love the most about this league. That's the thing that caught my attention the most is
Hmm.
the level of compassion. Well, that and the fan ownership, right? But that's from a fan perspective. From me as a quasi fake trying to be journalist perspective, it's the fact that these folks actually care. They're not
Yeah.
just throwing you into the meat grinder and using you up and throwing you away because
Hmm.
they don't have time to do anything else, right? There are a bunch of great NFL coaches, and I don't want to take a single thing away from them. But let's be honest. Do they really have time to care about you if you're having a bad day or you're in a slump or something like that is going on with you? No, they got a guy for that. And they let that guy handle it, right? And if you're not going to do what you need to do on the field, well, you can go sit on the bench and you can talk to the guy. We're bringing in the next guy because we ain't got
Exactly.
time. We got to win games because we got to make millions of dollars, right?
Hmm.
That's what I like about this league is that it doesn't really matter about the dollars. It's about developing you guys. Us as fans, we take care of the dollars. We buy the merchandise, we buy the tickets, we buy stock into the teams, which by the way, your boy here at Texans Talking Football has pretty much committed himself to buying stock in every single team in this league to show his support. But I'm gonna buy more stock in the Toros because that would only
Boo.
be right,
You're not
right?
gonna get a good return.
On San Antonio Toros,
Yeah.
well,
The
yeah, because
syndicate,
I'm gonna keep.
there's just no the syndicate, that's gonna be the best return that you're gonna get back though.
Well, true, because the equipment will look almost like brand new and we can resell it and get our money back and everything will be fine.
Wow.
The San Antonio equipment won't be because it'll be covered in blood, sweat, and tears and championships. So
Oh,
we'll
oh, I
keep
thought it.
reinvesting and rebuilding the value.
Oh, so you're gonna go and get the equipment from storage that's hasn't been used since the 1930s. That's why there's still blood on it.
Well, maybe, but I mean, whatever, as long as we get the championships, right? But no,
Yeah,
seriously,
hey.
I love the fact that, again, this league cares. And I
Hmm.
love the fact that we have a team so close that we can talk trash and we can build that frenemy relationship with. We had that with the two teams that were here in Texas, right? We had a pretty great rivalry with Dallas,
Hmm.
well, Arlington at the time, and there's
Yeah.
a special name for the stadium that they were playing in. I'm not going to say it because there might be kids watching, but if you watch some of our old episodes, BD has a special name for that baseball field they were using. It's something
Yeah,
about Choctaw, and it sounds like it, but it's not what he's actually saying. I'll let you kind of figure that one out.
I
Then we
think I
also had a
know.
pretty good rivalry with our friends over in Houston.
Hmm.
And again, the nice thing that happened with that league, even though we don't have a team anymore, um, and that's okay. Like I'm good with that. It again, from a business standpoint, it all makes sense. But I still have all those connections across the country. I still have friends in Memphis. I could go over there and see tomorrow. I have friends in Birmingham, people that absolutely hate my guts in St. Louis, people in Michigan that they hate my guts too, but it's because I'm a Packers fan. Otherwise,
That
they're
makes
good with me,
sense. Hmm.
you know. But I love that we can do this and we can sit here and rile each other up and talk trash. But at the end of the day, we're here to support each other and to support this league because we want this league to survive because it means guys like you get opportunities to continue their career. And that's what we
Hmm.
want to see, right?
Hmm.
So, that being the case, we're talking about rivalries and stuff like that. You've played at four different colleges, so you've probably seen a couple of different opportunities of rivalries. Of the colleges that you went to, who was your biggest rivalry and how did that like the biggest rivalry game that you were in, how was that for you?
Hmm. Okay, I have two of my most favorite rivalries of the games I've been in. It was when I was in JUCO when we played Navarro. We actually had to play them at their place for playoff seedings, and we won 45 to like 42. So it was like a super high scoring game, super good. Like they're 40 minutes down the road. Our entire side was packed. Their entire side was packed. It was a night game. It was crazy. I think that game was definitely one of my most fun rivalries, just because it was high scoring and the quarterback on the other team, he was number one in our league and I was number two. So it was like a good, just like, playing another great team. So everyone played their best that game. But that one was fun because we did come out with a win. And then my last one I would say when I was at the University of Findlay, my last school, we played our rivals Tiffin, in which they're only about 35 minutes down the road from us, and we called our 224 rivalry. And that one was super fun because before I knew it, that was my last, well, at that time, my last game, football game outdoors. And we were on the road at their place. They had to win the game to win conference. And like we were just playing just pride at that point. Like I think we were like 7-4, so we weren't making playoffs or anything. And it was snowing and everything, so it was like a masterpiece game. When it went into their place, it was jam packed, super cold, and ended up winning and beating them, and then they didn't get to win conference. So that one was super fun because we got to spoil their victory and we also got to win in their stadium. And it was a crazy game too. That came down to the wire on an actual dropped Hail Mary that if the other player would have caught it, they actually probably would have won the game. But he dropped it. And so we ended up winning
Nice.
and getting out of there with a sneaking out of there with the victory. But those two were definitely probably my favorite rivalry games. And I mean, I love games like that. Like I love like I'm a huge competitor, like a huge competitor. Like I would trash talk with the fans and to the fans. Like I'm one of those people where like you will catch me a couple times. Like it definitely will
Nice.
happen. But like like I love it though. Like it's what it's what makes a game fun. Like everyone's bought in. Like there's nothing better than I can't hear anything because the crowd's screaming on third down, and then I can hear everything because we got the first down. Like it's things like that. Like even when we're at home, like feeling the energy from the crowd, like each first down, like it all matters and builds. So like I think they're super important, and even just to getting the fans in more because you have a first game and it's a rivalry game and it's a great game. What do you think is going to happen the next time that game comes around? Like it's going to be even that much crazier. Like the stakes are going to be high, and like that's what makes football so much fun. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, I'm excited for them.
Yeah, I'm so and I hate to fanboy out, but I'm going to, right? I'm just excited for this league and the fact that
Hmm.
things are going to be different, right? That whole
Hmm.
continental shift just has me just I'm
Yeah.
so energized waiting for it. But
Yeah.
okay, you covered a couple of things. The rivalry games, right? And so we're going to roll into the next question here. We don't know all the teams, right? So,
Hmm.
we talk about how San Antonio and Austin are going to be rivals, but it may not be that way, right?
Hmm.
You may wind up finding somebody else that is a rival. Um, that being the case, I mean, we kind of know what kind of facilities we're looking at for playing games. We haven't figured out quite where San Antonio is going to play yet, and that's okay, right?
Hmm.
We're certainly not going to play in the Alamo Dome because the rent's extremely ridiculous for the concessions that we'd be getting as a team and as fans.
Yes.
Part of why we're in the situation that we're in, which I'm
Hmm.
actually kind of thankful for. But that being the case, how are you going to handle that rivalry, that opposition that you're going to be experiencing here? What are you expecting to see? Because you're a quarterback and you're pretty much the field general. Now,
Hmm.
there's a rear admiral that's going to be, potentially overruling some things that you're saying and stuff. But how are you going to handle dealing with those rivalries and stuff out on the field? And what kind of offense are you looking to kind of run without giving away your game plan? Let's not give away a plan right now.
Um, yeah, no, definitely would never do that. Besides that, we're going to score a lot. That's always part of the plan. Um,
Okay.
but when it comes to those rivalries, you kind of expect everything. Like it's a weird and kind of a fake answer to say everything, but
Mhm.
like you just know, especially when you're on the road, like teams are going to do different things. Like there's going to be some element that like I was not prepared for that like at all, or like man, like they actually are louder than than we anticipated. Like I can't hear on the headset, like things like that.
Yeah.
So I think it's just more of really, and this even goes to the game plan. I think it's just really being one with the team and even the head coach, because like you said, like he does kind of, not kind of, he does overrule everything. And which there are probably going to be moments in which like I might say like, no, we're actually going to do this and make a check. But I think it's just about us being on the same page because there's a lot of times, and this is when, I've had the most fun with offensive coordinators, just when like I could understand and think like them and they could also understand and think like me in these situations. And that's when it's like, I already know what play you're going to call because I understand what you're like, I see what you're seeing. And so I think it's really just about for those moments, just being more focused and in tune with the coach and being on the same page and then going out and directing all that to the team. It's going to be loud. It's always going to be hectic. Like that's just what it calls for. But kind of being that field general, it's just about everyone else can be crazy, but just my heartbeat steady, calm, collective, direct, give out direction, see what it is, and then keep our team moving forward. Because if you do that, it gets quieter. And it's really fun when sometimes it's a third quarter and it's like, huh, they're not as loud as they were, a couple quarters ago on third down. Like this is now manageable. So
Yeah.
so that's kind of how I handle that. And then for offensive philosophy, like I said, score a lot. We're gonna move fast, and we're gonna have a lot of fun. That's about the most I can give because that's the most that I know from what, from what I've talked about with the offensive coordinator. But just with my experience and having playing a lot of different places, and just different styles of football, we've definitely talked about just the possibility of doing a lot and even having that arena ball experience now. When we get to that continental shift, it's like okay, normally you have to kind of reteach or teach like okay, this is how you got to time up the motions and these routes are different now because they're already moving full speed, so like you have to, everything's different. But having a little bit of that background, we can kind of more just get the ball rolling and get more of creative. Like, all right, what do we like to call? Like, how can we really use this to the best of our ability, and even just to get the defenses to show their hand? Because that was one of the things I liked about it was like they have to show their hand. The guys are running full speed, like they have to move into whatever they're doing. And so
Mhm.
I think that would be really fun to really experiment with. But score lots of touchdowns. That's always number one on number one on the board. Score touchdowns and don't turn it over. That's our offense.
There you go. That's going to be the key.
hmm
Um, Again, I am excited, and especially you keyed in on it. The experience that you've had in arena ball, that is going to help you with that much faster paced game of the Continental Shift.
hmm
And again, super excited about that. I I can see where the struggle could come in with the three downs, right? Because that means basically you got two downs to do something, or you're
Yeah.
kicking it away.
Yeah.
Um, but that being the case, and I like the fact that we don't really necessarily have to change the field dimensions that the
Yes.
CFL is changing more to ours. I love that, so you don't have to
hmm
really overthink it too much.
hmm
But that being the case, we've kind of already alluded to it. Um, but do you think guys such as yourself are going to fare better in this league that have had that arena experience? Or do you think it's more a matter of a mindset where you're able to just kind of flip the switch from American rules to Canadian rules?
Yeah. So I definitely think that's kind of a two part because I do think that it will help to an extent just because even when I was coming from arena to get back to going back outdoors, like I had to completely slow everything. Like I was mentally moving too fast, physically moving too fast. Like everything I was doing was just too fast. And so I think that in a sense, especially for my position, really helps me just because, now that I've gotten better at physically slowing down, but mentally still keeping up the same pace. I think that'll definitely help just kind of slow the game back down, and then for flipping the switch, I think that that's something that's definitely going to help because going to play arena, you almost have to break everything that you've known about football and completely forget it because it's like that's not gonna work. Like all the things that would work, they don't. And all the things that do in arena, they don't outdoors. So I think that's where it's like in the first, 3 quarters, we're gonna have to be um, American, 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 and then you're gonna have to flip that switch. And now it's like, okay, it's Canadian now. Because then even my whole process of you're right, like I have two downs to do something. That changes completely on what I'm gonna do. Like in my
Mhm.
thought process on first down. Like, normally yeah, we'll take three on first. I kind of want to go with the 5-6 on first down this time. And three is
Yep.
still not bad because you got to get what you can. But I definitely do think that that's still going to be a small adjustment, even though I've already made some sort of adjustment in flip switch. But I think once we do it once and get used to it, like I think it'll be easier for guys and guys will start to flip that switch easier. But having a little bit of arena experience, I think will definitely just help set guys, especially earlier on, just ahead and adjusting to the change of the game.
Excellent. Excellent. Now, I'm sure you've been on Facebook, you've been keeping updates with Quincy and the team and everything like that. We
Hmm.
obviously have the open tryouts that are going to be coming up, and I don't know necessarily how deep your team is set yet. Obviously, I know you have a head coach, you have quarterback, you have owner. You're probably looking for a couple of skilled positions, I'm sure.
Hmm.
Are you going to actually be at the combine, and will you be able to kind of have some input and with your head coach and be like, hey man, I like this dude's speed. I like that guy's hands.
Hmm.
Look at the way this guy is ball hawking back there in the back. Or is it going to be, oh, no, never mind. I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah, so I actually will be there and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna throw because yes, they're definitely Quincy, like I said, since we've known each other a little bit, that was one of the things that I really liked about him, just he was like, I value your input and I want your input. And
Nice.
so I will be out there at that tryout and I'm most likely going to be throwing so that I can physically throw to them and give him a yes or no and kind
Okay.
of get a group together and like, okay, I like these guys, I like what I'm seeing, you know. Let's kind of get them in a separate group and now let's throw a little bit more, kind of more detailed. So, yeah, I definitely do have a lot of say, at least to bring things to the table. Now, will it always be accepted? Yeah, but to have the ability to even bring it to the table and it's something that is, thought on and actually accepted is something that is new for me. So yeah, I'm actually really excited about those the showcase kind of tryouts and even the joint one which I saw, which I thought was super cool because it's like, yeah, that's smart, like let's work on keeping this a thing and not trying to individually get our pieces here. um
Hmm.
because then that'll be awesome just to actually see the guys that I'm going to have to end up, beating later on in the
Yeah,
or the next year. So, but yeah, I'm excited about it though.
that is excellent. I am trying to work something out. I can almost guarantee with 100% certainty that Texans Talking Football will be there in some capacity because we want to talk to you guys, right? We want
Mhm.
to get updates. We did this with the UFL when they had one of the combines in Orlando. Got to
Mhm.
talk to a couple of incredible players. I'm trying to lean on some of those connections to maybe bring them over. I don't know if they're going to or not because some most
Mhm.
of the guys don't live anywhere near Texas. But if we can help encourage them, this is another opportunity for some of these young men.
Mhm.
And I saw some amazing athletes, man. I'm not gonna lie. And I will tell you that I'm expecting to see the same thing, the same caliber of athlete out there. I don't know that the league is going to make that much of a difference. I think it's going to be more, that opportunity. And I want to
Mhm.
make sure that when, we are there connecting with these folks and everything, so we can give them an opportunity to start connecting with the community in advance before, we start getting into training camp and
Mhm.
things like that. I'm sure you guys are going to do team events. In fact, I think I saw one already.
Yeah.
So you guys are a little bit ahead of us there, but I mean, in all fairness, we just got a team like 3 weeks ago. So, um, but I want to make sure that we're, helping you guys get opportunities to connect with, that community there in advance so people can, like me, the diehards, can start doing some research and be like, oh, this guy went to this college, or oh man, look at, the records that he set when he was over at, A&M Kingsville, or whatever. uh I really think that that gives us a better opportunity to get to know you guys as
Mhm.
players and as individuals, so we kind of have that kind of common ground to start building that connection with. And then we can get to know you, more from there, find out, more about, the things that you like, dislike, crazy stuff like that. You are in the Austin area. So these are going to be a little more kind of personal questions, but who's better, Austin or San Antonio when it comes to tacos? Be honest.
Mm. Oh, come on, man. Ah, you know what's actually so funny? I really haven't even had many tacos since I've been in Austin. I really had like when I first got to San Antonio, I was going to like every food truck I could find and grabbing some
Yes.
tacos. So I'm gonna have to say San Antonio. But I I do love the tacos in San Antonio, especially the breakfast tacos. Listen, I try not to eat them every single day at work because man, like they're good. But San Antonio for that one.
Yes. Now I will say, and I'm trying to remember the name of the location. Uh, I remember, thank God. And no pun intended, but I actually know a guy up in Austin, has a little place called Lazarus Brewery, right? It's over on East Sixth Street.
Yeah, uh-huh, uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh. Go over there. The owner's name is Christian. Not that it's going to get you any discounts or anything like that,
Oh.
but you've got to go talk to this guy. He has some of the most phenomenal tacos, some of the most phenomenal beer. And here's the main reason why I'm pushing this. Not I don't beat people over the head with my Christianity or my faith or anything like that, but I absolutely love this guy's mission and vision. The
Mhm.
brewery is paying for his mission work that he's doing, right?
Really?
So the
Wow.
Austinites are actually helping him go do good things with the money that they're giving him. So I
Okay.
absolutely love that, you know.
No, that's
Um,
awesome.
yeah, but
Oh,
just the food alone is worth it. You don't have to be a believer. You can just go and have some good tacos and some incredible beer. But then there's also that Christian aspect too. If you're Christian, you can plug in there as well. Um,
I am, praise the Lord. Uh,
there you go,
yeah, well, the name makes
right
sense too,
there.
Lazarus. Yeah.
Yep, that's Ephesians 6:11. Put on therefore the armor of God. Just so you know, right?
I have Isaiah 54:17.
There you
Hmm.
go.
Yeah.
Uh, that's awesome. But we're not doing a Bible show here,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah,
Don't tune us out, folks. Um,
yeah.
but again, so San Antonio for the tacos. Um, what kind of music do you like?
Oh man, I love all music. Like I listen to I grew up a church kid since we were talking about the whole Christian thing. So I love gospel
Okay,
music always.
okay.
And then I love rap, hip hop, R&B, love Michael Jackson, Lionel Richie.
Mhm.
Um and then we can move on. I love country music too. I have to say, believe it or not, I didn't realize like my family is huge country music fans, and I thought I was the only one, and then like found out that I wasn't, so that was cool. And
Nice.
then I am a huge like movie soundtrack person, like especially when doing like
Okay.
work or things. Like I think soundtracks make movies
Hmm.
completely, and so I love a good soundtrack. And then there are a couple anime openers
Yeah.
that I like too.
Oh,
So
yes, yes.
yeah, yeah. So like I said, a very very wide range, and especially being well once I got to San Antonio, then kind of reopening my range of music again to more of the culture down here. But I really love all music. Like I love that it kind of transcends like language and like I can understand and not understand all in the same time. So But yeah, I have a huge music taste. I'm open to listening to new music. There's even some, heavy metal rock songs that I like. I don't know the names of them, but when I hear them, I was like, oh, I like that song. So yeah, I try to dive into, every piece of genre of music a little bit because I think it's all good and pieces of each other. So
Nice. That leads me to my next question, and I think I already know where you're going to go with this. Who has the better music scene, Austin or San Antonio?
oh, Austin, just because I've been to ACL.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely Austin, but that's what comes with being in that kind of more of a city vibe like that. Like they're gonna hold, more concerts there. I even who did I go see? I saw Big Time Rush one time,
Mhm.
which was like a crazy little childhood like little throwback memory there. But
Yeah.
yeah, definitely Austin. It's always tough trying to decide with my girlfriend, like, which concert are we going to? Because there's so many of them coming up. So, um,
Yeah.
Austin, but I have been hearing more about just some of the hidden spots in San Antonio. So, we might have to come back
Yeah.
to that. Just I've heard of just a couple spots that I might have to go check out or whatnot. But Austin for right now.
Oh, yeah. And I hate to say it, but Austin definitely has this beat in the music scene. It wasn't that way 40 years ago, but that's 40 years ago. I mean, that's ancient
Yeah.
history to, folks like you now. Um, so this upcoming season,
Mhm.
right? You don't have all the pieces in place. Not necessarily sure exactly, if you're going to be running an air raid offense, a ground and pound, what you're going to be doing. But I'm gonna put you on the spot for your very last question.
Okay.
What do you think your season record is going to be next year?
Undefeated.
Undefeated, huh?
Undefeated.
Okay. Love it. Absolutely love that conviction there. Um, Jeremy, it has been an absolute pleasure talking to you.
Yes, sir.
Why don't you share your social media info with everybody so that way they can kind of start following you? Obviously,
Hmm.
you guys want to follow the COFL Syndicate on Facebook, X, Instagram. Like you guys are all over the place, but
Yes.
share
Yes.
your stuff too.
Okay, hold on. Let me let me go see because I've changed around. I've changed it around a couple of times. I hope this doesn't mess it up. Did it mess it
Ah,
up?
it'll be okay.
It'll be okay. Here, I'll just hit that for 1 second.
Sure.
Just so I can try to find this. You kind of got me with this last question.
Hmm.
All right, so for Instagram, it's going to be J9Hunt underscore. Let's see. Let me
Okay.
go get back on that camera. J9Hunt underscore for Instagram. And then I don't use X as much. Um, but here is for X, it's going to be JB Hunt underscore 18.
Yeah. X is kind of more for us older folks and Facebook and MySpace and whatnot.
See, it's funny. My Instagram is linked to my Facebook, so like my Facebook seems like it's a lot more active than it really is because it's just my Instagram, and so
Yeah.
it's always linked. But yeah, Twitter just takes up too much of my time. Like I can't like I had to like dial back because I used to enjoy Twitter a lot.
I know, I know. Um, I was somewhat of the, social media junkie myself. And again, I'm old, right? I did the MySpace and it was great for music. Absolutely loved that.
Yeah,
Evolved to Facebook and it just started kind of becoming one of those things where it was more of a chore than a joy. And
yeah.
then, we started again with the San Antonio Commanders. We started kicking around the
Hmm.
idea of doing a video podcast like this. And so what time I would spend would be focused more on, doing the podcast stuff, sharing posts, doing all that kind of, podcast related social media stuff. And once in a while, you may actually see a direct post from me on my Facebook or something. But 90% of the time, it's, I'm sharing something from like you guys or the Toros or,
Hmm.
you know, unfortunately the Packers or, whatever the case may be. Um, so one more question, because I see
Yeah,
the way you're
yeah.
shaking your
Mhm.
head. I gotta ask, who's your NFL team?
Chicago Bears. I just want to say, and you said that you were realistic. Bear down. We're horrible, but we can win it in the fourth quarter. I don't know how we're doing it. Shout out Ben Johnson because I don't know how we somehow get an XP boost. The whole team does in the fourth quarter if it's a close game because everyone in all facets just starts to play better. And I love it. I'm here for it. I'm all for the messy wins because that's that division within it's like if you're gonna win that division, it's gonna be messy wins, like a 10-7 win, like last night. Like that's a traditional, NFC tough match. It's cold game to win, but for sure, bear down. That's why this cheesehead talk nonsense is just it's making my stomach turn a little bit. Actually, that's what it's doing.
And fair enough, and I can respect that. And I would come back at you with some kind of burn on the Bears, because that rivalry is literally the oldest in the
Oh
NFL.
yeah.
Um, it, lately, it's almost like we don't even really hate you guys anymore, because it's just like, how can we hate on you with all the
Here we
bad that
go.
you've had in the last couple of years, and then how
Mm,
we've literally been right at the top and never risen to the top, you know? You
yeah,
can't really
and I
talk a whole
mean,
bunch of trash.
yeah, and I only talk trash because we're doing well right now. Because if it was any time before, the things I watched the Packers do to the Bears growing up was sick. Like, like Jordy Nelson in that post route gives me nightmares to this day. And like I know you know what I'm talking about, but like
Mhm.
the moment I would see Aaron Rodgers load up to throw the post, I was like, no, please don't be wide open. And he was always wide open. And I shout out like yeah, Jordy Nelson was a dog. He's but I mean, but yeah, but since we're winning, oh yeah, I'm definitely going to talk the talk and yeah,
Yeah.
so
And rightfully so, you should. Again, I'm a realistic fan. I love my Packers. I'm an actual shareholder. I only have one right now, but it shows you my level of commitment. Like, I love my team. But the
yeah.
reality is that we skated by somehow the first couple of games, and now it's really kind of catching up to us. Our defense looked great last night.
Hmm.
I'm hoping that we can continue with that. Now we got to fix the offense. We'll see what happens though.
You guys need a
Um,
receiver. You guys need a top receiver because that was
we
it.
have
That
one. We
he's
have
just
one.
young. He's young.
We're not using him right, but we're not going to get too much into
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Matthew
I don't even
Golden.
like that. I don't
Okay,
even like them. I don't even like them. Why am I
we're.
talking
I'm
about?
going to say it real quick.
Go ahead.
Matthew Golden is an
Oh,
awesome deep threat, but he is a slot receiver, and then he uses his speed and move and agility to break free for the long runs. We're not using him for that. We're sending him downfield double coverage, and Jordan Love, just throws it wild. Now, I will say, a friend of mine, great friend of mine, who's
mhm.
actually from the Green Bay area, he sees a lot of Rodgers in Jordan Love's style. I see more Brett Favre, that gunslinger style. But whatever it is,
Hmm.
there's something that needs to develop there to get him to that next level so he can hit Matthew Golden wherever he's at, right? Before Matthew Golden leaves, because he's only going to stick around for a little while. If he's not being used right, he's only going to stick around for a little while, and then he's gone. And then
Yeah.
we're back to where we are with, Dobbs with a big freaking Guardian helmet, Q-tip looking
Hey,
nastiness.
hey, he cares about his brain.
God, he'll be fine. Rub some dirt on it. He'll be fine.
Yeah, yeah, that's
No, I say that, and we've actually talked about it
hmm.
in previous episodes, but there is another helmet liner that is going through testing right now, because the NFL testing requirements are so vigorous and everything.
Yeah.
But basically a cap that fits over, but you almost can't even tell that there's anything there. And it provides supposedly these are the numbers that they're saying, and I don't know because I'm not a scientist yet, but supposedly it provides better concussion protection. It just hasn't been proven to NFL standards yet, right?
Mm,
So the next couple of years, don't be surprised if we start seeing a development in the technology to keep you guys safer, right? We can send rockets up, to the moon 18 million times and reuse the same rocket. We can't come up with better head protection or body protection for you guys. Come on,
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So, yeah, don't get me started on that. It's a whole different thing. But
Nah,
anyways,
that's true.
Jeremy, again, thank you so much. This has been such a fun interview. I cannot wait. Again, we should be on site to talk to you guys at the tryout. So I can't wait. Hopefully, I can be there. I can't 100% guarantee that I will be there, but certainly there will be several of our friends that are going to be there to talk to you guys and interview and meet with you in person and maybe talk a little bit of trash, but still be there to support you either way. So
Okay, cool.
again, man, I cannot wait, and I cannot wait to see how the season develops and how we become frenemies and how much fun we're just going to have together. And realistically, because you guys are so close, do not be surprised if you guys have a meet and greet and it gets crashed by us opponents. Okay.
That
And
would be
I,
fun. That
I,
would be a lot of fun.
I issued the challenge now to your fan base as it's building. Because keep in mind, San
Hmm.
Antonio kind of has a built-in fan base, so you guys are a little bit behind the eight ball there, right?
Yeah.
I fully expect you Austinites to do the same thing to us. We welcome you. We invite you to come down and crash
Mm,
our events, right?
okay.
Let's have fun. Let's talk trash. Let's crack a beer, right? But let's make this league the best league that it possibly can be because it comes right from the support of the fans.
No,
So,
exactly.
Jeremy, again, cannot say
No,
thank you enough. Thank you so much
no.
for coming on tonight. Fans, make sure
Yes,
you're keeping an eye
yes,
on this young man. He is going to do some incredible, incredible things, and I can't wait to be there for it. So,
yes, sir. Thank you so
have,
much for having me.
no problem, Jeremy. Have a great night, man.
Yep, you as well.
Okay, sorry, I just cut him off there a little bit. I'm sorry, Jeremy. Again, folks, that was Jeremy Hunt, quarterback of the Texas Syndicate. Super excited to see what this young man is going to do. Make sure you're following him on X and Facebook and all these other good places, right? But again, I seriously expect there to be some really good players coming out of this league because of the opportunities that they're going to have with the coaches and the connections and everything that those coaches are going to do to make them the best players that they possibly can be. So, with that being the case, again, we've gone over our time. We always go over here on Texas Talking Football. We haven't even gotten to NFL yet, and that's okay. We'll probably wind up having a show on Thursday as well, and maybe bring on some more players, and maybe we'll get to NFL then. But in the meantime, make sure you're watching football. There's going to be some great college games this weekend. There's going to be some incredible NFL games. And I'm just going to go ahead and say it, even though, we got stomped by the Eagles, uh, in honor of my glorious Green Bay Packers, I'm going to say it, suck it, the rest of the NFC North. We're still the best, and we always will be. See you guys on the next show.